Welcome to Victory Condition Gaming. My name is Doug. Today on the show, we are playing Mutant Year Zero. This is a game by Free League Publishing. It is post-apocalyptic. It is a game that I've wanted on the show for quite some time. It is one of my most favorite RPGs, and I'm so excited to have it on the show. Finally, after about a year and a half, I've tried to get this on the show. So I'm so glad. We've got a great cast. I'm going to introduce them in just a moment. But first, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the setting, the mechanics, and then I'll introduce the players. Mutant Year Zero is post-apocalyptic. Think of it as X-Men meets Walking Dead, almost. It happens in the apocalypse that has happened on Earth years in the future. All we know of is that there's mutants, that everybody is a mutant of some sort. There are no quote-unquote humans that we know of. The players have never seen a real human, except for one person, the Elder of the Ark. They're in a community called the Ark. We're going to show it to you in just a little bit. It's basically a land it's a cruise ship on land that's been pretty much decimated. You're going to see it in just a little bit, but the only livable levels are the 8th and the 9th levels on the top. All the rest of it is not livable and not habitable at all. It's just amazing. We're gonna kind of just dive right into it. First, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the mechanics of this game. This game uses D6 dice pools. The players are going to have an attribute score that determines how good they are at something. The higher the number of the attribute score, the more D6s they roll. Sometimes there's skills that are also tied to the attributes that they're going to use. Those skills also have a rating. You add that rating worth of D6s to the attribute score, and you roll that many D6s. If they roll 6, they succeed at what they want to do. If they roll 1, then that's not too bad on the first roll. If they roll first and not get any 6s, then they can do what's called push their roll. They can take all the dice that didn't come up 1s and 6s, and they re-roll them to hopefully get more successes or a success. If they roll any 1s, when they push the roll, or if they have any 1s left over from the first roll, then those are bad, and something's going to bad happen to that attribute that they use for that roll. They also might have some gear. The gear also have a rating. The rating is a D6 or D6s that are also added to that pool. If they roll any 1s with the gear, then the gear breaks, and you're going to see that happen quite a bit. This is not a safe environment. Things are very brutal. The players really have to kind of watch what they do, because resources and weapons and gear and everything is very scarce, and this is a very dangerous environment. The characters only know the safety of the Ark that they live in. They've never ventured out further from the Ark, or at least one of them might have. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. But now, before we begin, one more thing I want you to do. If you're tuning into this channel for the first time, I want you to hit that subscribe button. That helps us grow as a show. You'll also get notified every single time we go live with the actual plays and with interviews and with reviews. And we really would like you to be a part of our VCG community. The other thing that I would like you to do is, if you like these type of action plays, hit that like button down below. That also helps us get noticed, and it also lets us know that you like this type of content. Now, without further ado, let me share the players. All right. Let me see if I can. There we go. All right. Thank you guys for joining me. We've got an all-star cast for this Mutant Year Zero campaign. Let me take a look at the screen of how it's all laid out, because it's never actually broadcast the way we look at it. It's always laid out a little bit different. So off to my right is, I think it's my right. No, maybe it's my left. I don't know. I can't tell. It's my right on screen. Off to my right is Mr. Will Munn. Will, thank you so much for coming on. Would you like to introduce your character and tell us a little bit about who you are in this Mutant Year Zero campaign?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. This is going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited about this game. So I'll be playing Hadron. He is a gearhead, which means that he is really good at maybe like jury rigging things, making things, fixing things that are broken. Really just kind of a sort of a grease monkey type of guy almost, but maybe with a little bit more tech info on him. And I'm really excited to play him. He is. Um, do we want to get into appearances now, or is that
Yeah,
later?
sure. Go ahead. Well,
Yeah,
why don't you
appearance.
tell us a little bit about what he looks like?
Sure thing. So he's got shoulder length brown hair. He's kind of a sad looking face a little bit. Has a scarred cheek. He's sort of robust. He's not like really skinny or really big, but he is a little person, and he wears a turned down coverall with a t-shirt underneath it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Next to Will, on the other side of Will, is Joshua Melville, aka Halloweenville on YouTube. Josh, thank you again for coming on the show and being a part of this actual play campaign.
Absolutely. Anytime. I am excited.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about your character?
Do I? So I am playing Peyton Westlake. I'm a fixer, which is kind of the wheeler dealer kind of guy. He knows where to get things. He knows who to sell them to. And, he's just all around, just kind of wheeling dealing.
Nice.
His mutations came on because he was backstabbed and double crossed by Jahamid, and he sent his thugs to come down and rough me up one day. And my storehouse, I had some chemicals, which they threw me into and happened to burn most of my body. And then I started to mutate and grow some mandibles, kind of like some insectoid, and some hairs on my arms and stuff. So I'm a little bit more sensitive than usual, but I cover all this up by just bandaging it all up. So all you can see is like the eyes and my mouth, obviously. And then I wear a black fedora and a black trench coat.
Nice.
And so like I can walk up and just, flash my trench coat and be like, hey, look what I got.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you clarified that.
I thought I would.
Family show, Josh.
I could see where your face was going, so
okay, all right.
I made sure I was clarifying. Yeah,
gonna have another Ian extravaganza on the show.
I think it'll be awesome. I'm really a huge fan of the post-apocalyptic genre in general, and we are going to have a lot of fun with this. So you want to hear about my mutant?
Yes, I do. Absolutely.
Awesome. So I am playing Zakirin. He is a stalker, so he is probably that one you referred to earlier, who is the only one who has really ventured at all outside in the zone, but not particularly far, I imagine, as there is much left to explore.
And not very often either.
No, it has been forewarned to me throughout my whole life in the Ark that the zone is a place where people go to die, and ever since I went in there, people have started regarding me differently, I imagine. So, Zakirin is a younger, probably around 18 or so, man. He has a hooded kind of facade with dirty, busted goggles that he wears, one of them being severely cracked. And he's thin and hunched in posture, generally sticking a bit low to the ground, definitely seems relatively frail, especially as compared to those mutants who are gifted with physical attributes. And he wears a heavy jacket and layers of jeans and carries around a backpack, all for protection against the weather or the general terrible terrain of the zone. And the reason he wears the large, hefty jacket is because underneath he generally hides and folds up a set of insect wings that he is not particularly proud of. And as a rather young, naive member of the people, he's searching for a way to potentially cure himself before he becomes too mutated, as he's seen people become.
Awesome. Yes. And I forgot to give you guys some relationships here to some NPCs. Ian, you have a relationship with a legendary stalker named Yason.
Yason.
Yasson, Yasson. He is a legendary stalker. He started stalking at age 10.
Wow.
But his time in the zone has not fared well on him. He is now very rot damaged.
Mhm.
He wears a scrap mask over his face all the time. He hisses when he talks because of the fact that this rot has kind of pretty much made his life unbearable at this point. So now he's not really all that keen to go out into the zone anymore, but everybody kind of looks up to him as far as he's brought a lot of relics from the old age back to the Ark. He has some very big tales of what he's seen.
And I suppose he's passed down some wisdom on me as the new stalker.
Yeah, I'd say he's kind of if you have any questions, you can kind of go to him.
So he's my mentor.
Yeah.
Cool.
Will, you have a relationship with the Ark's, like their main, what do you want to call it? Handyman, I guess is what I would kind of classify him as.
Okay.
His name is Pontiac.
Ooh.
And he has installed a water collector system for the community. So pretty much whenever it rains, it falls into they almost look like upside down umbrellas, and that's how you get your water for your community is through the rain system.
Nice.
And he lives in the old engine room of your Ark, and that's pretty much where he hangs out. So you know Pontiac because he's pretty much the main community handyman. Let's see here.
Thank you.
Peyton, you we'll wait off on you for right now.
I like
But now that was just me slow rolling Zachary's VCG debut.
Woo! Woo!
Zach, thank you so much for coming on and being a part of this actual play. I'm excited to have you on and be a part of Mutant Year Zero with us.
I'm excited to be here.
So, Zach, you want to tell us a little bit about your character and maybe their appearance and their mutation?
Yeah, Tadpole is a dog handler, so he's always got his dog Snoop, never far away.
Snoop, okay.
Snoop Dog.
I like it.
He is a worshiper of the sacred flame, which basically just means at some point in his life he got burnt really badly and decided that it must be a god.
Okay.
And so he's unblinking, mostly because his eyelids were burnt off. Burn scars, like basically a lot of places, hunched over. He has like a hoodie on like the top half of a hoodie on his like over his head and on his shoulders, and then has scrap armor, which is old firefighter gear that he's like procured and probably rummaged out of the ship.
Okay. Nice. You have a relationship that's not good with a NPC called Osarkatan. Osarkatan is a cult leader he's like the biggest cult leader in your community. He's the cult leader of this cult called the Sentinels of the Apocalypse. He basically thinks that God punished humans, and that's why the apocalypse happened. He thinks that mutants are there now to watch over the end times. And he thinks that, and his followers think that the mysteries, like trying to figure out the mysteries of the age before before this, is not right. It's sinful. And let's see here. He has about 20 cult members that follow him.
Fair enough.
Is
he like boss status, or is he?
He's not like. I think he's kind of referred to as kind of a loony, like in the community. Like they don't kind of take him seriously.
But he still holds some sway.
But yeah, he has these 20 or so members, and they all they're starting to make a little bit more noise as the weeks and months roll on. And yeah, Osarkatan he doesn't have any body hair, and he wears an old tarp as a robe. So just to kind of give you an idea what he looks like. But he doesn't like the fact that you have like this other belief, and he kind of wants you to kind of believe what he believes. And I don't know if you are believing along with him or not, but I think there's probably some sort of rivalry there.
Of course. How many people are in our arc?
There's about 200.
Okay. Well, if he's got 20, that's a
sizable chunk. Yeah.
We're gonna talk about some other things that, but yeah, we've got about 200. It seems that the ARC community seems to be dwindling instead of growing. We'll just dive right in. You live in this old abandoned cruise ship, and if you look at Josh's background, you can kind of see it. The bottom of it is uninhabitable. You cannot live in it. You all live in the top 2 floors. Mostly you live on that top deck because that is where all the food and grub is available. That's where most of the bosses all hang out. You know that food and water is very short supply. You probably aren't going to go very much longer as far as weeks and days are concerned, as far as the supply of food that you have on hand. The food and water is rationed out by the bosses. There are a few bosses, which we will talk about here in a little bit, that hand out and that divvy up the food and water supplies. Do we want to name the arc? Do you guys have does it say along the side of the cruise ship the name of the ship that... Anybody have a suggestion for the ship name?
How about the Disney Wonder?
The Disney Wonder. The Disney Wonder.
The Disney Wonder. All right.
All right. So it's like an old abandoned Disney cruise ship. That's amazing. That is going to be awesome. Yeah. So we're just going to start right in, and I'm going to give you the scene. The scene comes, and it's night. You all are every night there are mutants that take shifts that stand watch of the perimeter of the arc. You are such a shift this evening. You are standing guard. If you can see by the front of the ship, there is, I think it's called a palisade. Is that probably what it's called, with all the sticks and everything? It's like pretty much like a big, fenced off area or whatever that kind of keeps things from coming into the arc and kind of keep people from going out of the arc. And you guys stand watch of this to make sure that nothing's going on, and that because there are scary things out in the zone that are not human, and you just want to keep everybody safe. What are you guys doing while you're standing guard?
You could probably find Zakirin on top of the palisade, having made his way up there without the use of his wings, and scouting about and putting together his scrap rifle bit by bit out of his backpack.
Nice. What about the rest of you guys?
I'm probably somewhere close by. Zacharian? Is that how you say it?
Zakirin.
Zakirin, sorry.
Yeah, it's all good.
Probably somewhere close by. We're pretty good buddies.
Oh yeah.
We have a good system of, he's great at finding stuff and I'm great at selling it. So I usually tend to hang out with him and things like that. So I'm just kind of taking inventory of items that I got and
okay.
Hanging out.
If you can see the image, you guys are all stationed right in the front there,
mm-hmm.
Just along that fence, just to make sure that nothing comes in at night. It's pretty dark though. You can't really see a whole lot.
Do we have electric lights or no?
No, there's no electricity.
Okay. Tadpole's probably with his trusty dog Snoop, and then trying to just feed the little bits of scrap and bones that he can find to the other like dogs that are in the area, because he cares for the dogs as much as he can.
Okay.
They're his flock as much as the people are.
Sure. I like it. Hadron, what are you doing at this point?
Yeah, so I'm just find a place to kind of hunker down and kind of play with some little bits and bobs of things, right? Maybe found like an old hand fan, one of the electric ones, and he's just kind of spinning it around with his finger, kind of trying to figure out what made that thing work.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. So you pretty much, the first part of your shift goes by without too much incident. There's not too much going on. But then all of a sudden, a bright light comes down from the sky, and it just lights up everything as if it were broad daylight. And it's just, you see this bright light streaking across the sky, and it's just plummeting towards Earth. And it's miles and miles away, but you can see it just broad as day. It makes everything just like almost as if the sun were right above you. And it just lights everything up.
Follow it with the scope of my rifle and have it glint off of my my goggles, my busted goggles there.
Right?
I think the giant fire in the sky, Tadpole's just going to drop to his knees, hands up in reverence.
Sure.
I'm going to get excited. There's some prospect here.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely interested in that. If it's a sign, right? That could be really cool.
All right. What you all notice after you guys are watching this like plummet to the earth, as it's getting kind of out of sight, it's still really, really bright, but you notice this huge wolf person on the top of the palisade just looking at you, just as surprised as you are that it's broad daylight out, and it looks at each one of you individually and just lets out this guttural growl. And you've never seen a person like this before in your life. This is an animal-human hybrid that is totally foreign. This is not a mutant.
Tadpole, one of your dogs got loose.
And as he makes this guttural, he charges towards the nearest mutant. Who's closest to him at this point?
Oh, if he's on top of the palisade, I was too, I suppose.
All right, so he charges at Zakirin without even with no hesitation. And as he's charging, you hear. You don't hear a sound, but you can tell that the bright light hits the earth, and you just because the light goes out, and then like a few seconds later, you just hear this really loud rumble noise, like something hit.
Holy moly!
But as that sound is going off, the wolf person is charging at Zakirin.
Do I have an opportunity to shoot it?
Yeah, I'll give you the opportunity to shoot it. Sure.
Okay, so I'm rolling my attribute plus my shoot skill, and then plus my bonus for my scrap rifle, right?
Right.
So that is 5 plus 2 plus 1, so 8d6. I hope I can at least get it away. 2. So I have 2 successes and 1 failure.
Okay, the failure doesn't come into play.
Nice.
So not unless you wanted to push it.
No.
You've rolled 2, so that's good enough. Yeah. So since you've rolled 1 6, your action automatically succeeds. You get to shoot the person.
Excellent.
Shoot the wolf person. The bonus 6 that you can use as like a stunt. You can shoot him again if you can. It just does more damage, or maybe we'll you can just kind of do something. You give it a little more.
So we've never seen anything like this before, right?
Never seen anything like this.
I suppose it would be worth attempting to shoot it non-lethally if I could line it up, try and just incapacitate it in some way, you know?
Okay.
If that's capable with a stunt, yeah, I'd like to maybe like shoot it right in the thigh or something so that it falls over but is still quite alive.
Okay. So yeah, so it's charging at you. You shoot it in the thigh, and it just topples to the ground. And but man, it is snarling really loud, and you did 1 damage to it, but yeah, it like hesitated for a second, and it still just gets right on top of you, and it jumps right on top of you and forces you to the ground.
Oh jeez.
At this point, he's going to try to bite your face.
Oh, no.
But let's see if that works. Oh, he did. Yeah. So he looks at you with his yellow eyes, and he just snaps at you, and yeah, he kind of tears a little bit of your cheek off, and he does 1 damage to you.
So the first bit of dialogue Zakirin gets out in this whole game is ah!
What are the rest of you guys doing?
I think Hadron, at being surprised by by something scary that he's never seen before, would immediately light it on fire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Go for it.
And that's part of his mutant ability, which we didn't talk about much. So he has pyrokinesis. So I think, and help me make sure I do this right, but if I spend the mutation point, which I have 1,
okay,
right, and then the ability says a near-range living being bursts into flame, 1 damage per MP, and armor has no effect.
Okay, so you're gonna set it on fire with
Yep.
Okay, with your mutant point. Yeah, no, you how do you explain how you do that? How does this
it
fire
just kind of
your
and it just kind of goes up.
Emanates from your hands?
Yeah, no, it would be
No?
away, I think. It doesn't have to be coming from him.
Okay.
It says at near range, so I think
So it just emulates.
Yeah.
All right. So it lights the wolf person on fire, and it looks, at this point it can tell that it probably shouldn't have engaged with you, and it kind of whimpers, and it gives you like the puppy dog eyes, like, oh my god, like what, I'm sorry, you can't, and all of a sudden it speaks and says, I'm sorry, I was just checking things out, I didn't mean, I didn't, and he's just, and it's trying to talk, but it's on fire, so it's really kind of
Well, Zakirin rolls over and is wiping off his face, but he's not going to get into any dialogue with this thing, so
Tadpole or Peyton, what are you doing at this point?
Peyton, you go ahead, bud.
Okay. I would take a shot with my scrap derringer, but I can't find the where are the stats on the weapons in the book?
It should be a gear. So
260.
What is it?
260 is the scrap gears and services stuff.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
All right. So why don't you go, dog handler, while I pull that up?
Okay. So, you gave me a giant dog, man. So, this is jam. So I'm going to spend my MP, and I'm going to use telepathy to send him a message that he perceives as true, which is that if he comes to me, that I'll protect him, or if he follows me, I'll protect him.
Okay. Yep. The wolf person looks at you, and you can tell that it trusts you. It's not. It was basically working on instinct, and she thought that, from what she's been told, that you guys were hostile, so it was just her natural ability to attack first and then ask questions later. But she really doesn't want to die.
Fair enough. So at that, Tadpole, actually, I have a voice for him if that's
yeah, go for it, man. Go for it. I love it.
Tadpole's like, hey, everybody, let's calm down. Let's see what this is. If she's like laying down and being passive at some point.
She's still on fire, and she's.
Well, if she's doing the stop drop roll or something.
Okay, yeah. She's probably like rolling around on the floor, on the ground, trying to put her fire.
I mean, if somebody had a rug, they could throw it on her and try and put it out.
Right.
But yeah, I'll try to like get closer to her to like kind of keep somebody from shooting her.
Well, Zakirin grabs you by the shoulder, and he goes, "That thing almost killed me. This is just more problems for us. We're running out of food and water, and now there are wolf peoples, and you see him wipe some blood off of his face. It almost got me. Almost had to use my wings, and Yasan would be ashamed," as I start taking apart my scrap rifle.
At this point, Callisto, the wolf person introduces herself as Callisto, and she says, "I'm sorry about your cheek. I'm just here to scope things out and to go back to where I'm from. They send me out to look for food and supplies." And
they.
Oh,
who is they?
My community.
Peyton, Hadron, you hear this?
Yeah, I hear this. Where's your community at?
It's a ways away. It's far away. But I was just scoping. I was just here to see what you have for supplies, and I was hoping maybe to take some back to my community.
What do you need for supplies? Maybe I might be able to help you.
We're very low on food and water.
Just food and water, that's it?
We're low on food and water, Peyton.
Yeah.
I know we're low on food and water, but just trust me. You've trusted me before.
That's true.
Okay. All right. So all you need is food and water, nothing else.
Our supplies are dwindling, and we're not going to last much longer.
How many in your...
And at this point, as you're asking how many, enforcer mutants come down from up above, and they oversaw everything that was going on, and they've come down, and they push their way through, and one of them's like a big four-armed mutant. The other one is kind of it's got insect hide and everything, and they push their way through. They're like, "We got it from here, guys. Go back to your quarters. We're gonna take this thing and put it where it belongs."
Wait, whoa, boys.
Go back to your quarters now.
Hey, by order of who?
Max, by order of Marlot.
Oh, Marlot. We're good friends here. Hey.
Marlot is not friends with you, and he picks up the wolf creature, and she gives kind of this whimper, and they trudge back into the ark carrying Callisto, and as you turn around, you see Marlot look at you and kind of sneer, and she walks back into the ark, and followed by her enforcers. Now, you guys know, and this is a little backstory on Marlot. Marlot is a boss of this arc. Mm-hmm. She has about 20 mutants that kind of are under her control. She is very military in style. She is a fellow insectoid, Josh. So when you said you know Merlot, it was kind of funny that because you guys are. And to be honest with you, that's going to be your relationship. You were a part of Merlot's, I guess, her gang at one point, but at one point you had a falling out.
Okay.
And she has her base on the top floor of the cruise ship in the old show bar.
Okay.
And she rules with authority. She is very military, very military. They do trainings. She thinks that well, we'll see what she thinks in a little bit here.
So after that display, Zakirin turns towards the group and in a bit of an exclamation, he goes, "And now we have trouble with Marlot. This is a terrible patrol, I'll tell you what." Listen.
Well, listen. Why don't we go in there and see what Merlot has to say about this? I mean,
you think you can talk your way through this one, Peyton?
You want to go in there? That is not a good idea.
Hadron is onto something as usual.
Me and Marlot, we go way back. I mean,
sure you do. Sure.
We do. We used to have this, love-hate relationship, and now it's just, mostly hate. But I mean, I got great guys like you, to back me up, right?
Yeah, of course, Peyton. You have kept us alive without issue, but the Ark at large, it's becoming more questionable, and that's what's on my mind anyway. Feuds with Marlot are, well we'll see what comes of it.
Who's to say we couldn't, maybe get a little something out of this by helping this creature and her clan?
I've seen you come through worse, Peyton, but I don't know about this one. It's not easy. I've got your back with my rifle, but
I understand you guys are nervous. I mean, who wouldn't be? But I see opportunity here. I really, really do. I see opportunity for something big, guys.
And what of you, Tadpole?
I want my dog back.
All right, I can respect that.
All right, so that's Tadpole's with us. We got to get the dog chick back. Yes.
Lead the way.
Hadron, come on, buddy. Listen, I will find you some sprockets. I will find you some whatever.
You mean you will send me to find him some sprockets?
So as you guys are talking, the enforcers that are there to take over your shift, because Marlot has decided that they tell you, go back to your quarters now. You're no longer needed of your duties.
I haven't even begun to do my duties. You said duties.
Hadron will start to walk off, but he's gonna kick something in their direction. Like doesn't like to be told what to do like that.
All right.
We need to speak with Marlot. It's just there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, guys. You got to let us pass through. It's kind of an urgent thing, big fiery balls of light crashing to Earth. I mean, we could take the dog.
We know that creature might have caused that great big ball of light. So why don't you can deal with Marlot in the morning. I'm sure Marlot's got a lot of stuff that she needs to do in the meantime. Don't be bothering Marlot. Just go back to your quarters. Everybody's to go back to their quarters by order of Merlot.
All right, boys. There's no need to be pushy. Guys, come on. And we'll kind of head off in whatever direction our quarters are in. And what I would like to do is kind of like, once I get out of sight of them, like start to find like a back entrance, maybe towards Merlot. even if it takes me the long way around.
Okay.
Very, very stealthy, sneaky.
Sure. Yeah. So you kind of know where Marlotte's office, or where her I guess den, I guess you want to call it, or her office or whatever is, where she hangs out. She hangs out at the old show bar. But yeah, she's not there.
Okay, so we get there, but she's not there.
Right.
Once we get to her office or whatever, can I just search the place?
Sure.
Okay.
What are you looking for?
Well, just any indication of what her plans are.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna just say that you look around, and there's some other of her crew there that kind of are looking at you kind of weird, like, what the heck are you doing in our area? You aren't you're no longer welcome in here, Peyton. You were one of us, but now what are you looking for? One of them will come up to you and ask you what you're looking for. Why are you here, Peyton?
We're looking for the she-dog.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Marlotte,
Yeah.
Marlotte had wants us to talk over to her about the big ball of light. Did you guys see any of that?
Yeah, we saw that. What was all that about? And he's like this. We'll say he's like this, like, bald enforcer with, like, I don't know. He's got like a stitched over eye.
Yeah, we're not sure, but it might have something to do with the dog lady person. Might know more about it, so we're here to kind of help out with the interrogation and investigation.
Was that the commotion that was going on in front of the ship, or in front of the Ark?
Yeah, absolutely. We took her down, and then a couple of the goons over there brought her in, and while we were interrogating.
Who you calling a goon? One of them stands up and gets in your face.
We're all goons here, aren't we? I mean, look, and I take off the bandage and reveal my mandibles and insectoid type face.
Yeah, Zakirin takes a step back because he doesn't like any particular mutation. Yeah.
And then I cover it back up.
Okay. So yeah, it kind of grosses them out, and they step back and they go back to what they were doing.
So we kind of want to, what's the plan and where to go from here, guys? I mean, did she give you any orders, or what's going on with the she-wolf?
We weren't told anything. We don't even know about this she-wolf. We just knew that there was a commotion. We were told to stay in our quarters, and Marlotte took a couple of the guys and went outside.
They just went outside.
That's what we were told. That they were going outside to deal with the commotion that was going on out front. There was a group of them. She took a team with her. They went outside. She said but they told us all to stay inside.
She went into the zone. She hasn't returned or anything. She's
not yet.
Yeah.
I mean, she probably will be back, but where'd you guys see her? You guys see her?
I didn't see her. Do you guys see her?
Just for a moment, but well, she didn't look happy.
Where did she go? Did she go back? Did she come back in the Ark?
Yeah, I suppose she did. So she's hiding out somewhere.
Interesting. Where would they? I would probably know where they would hold, like, a prisoner or something.
Yeah. There's like a makeshift jail.
Okay.
In, like, we'll say it's probably in the 3rd floor.
All right.
It's kind of uninhabitable and not very it's not all that great to be in. So that's where they put the jail cell.
I know you guys are hating on me right now, but you know what? I'm going to go down to the holding cells and find out what's going on, so I can update you guys, and we'll be right back. Okay. And I'll motion for everyone on my team to Let's go, guys. Let's go.
Her team just kind of like look at each other and they just kind of like roll their eyes and like, okay, we'll be waiting.
Can Tadpole get a sense of motion roll on him to see if
Sure.
he thinks he's believing him?
Sure. Go for it. Nope.
You're muted.
You're muted again.
My bad. So I got two ones and 2 6s.
Is that your first roll or did you push it?
That's first roll.
Okay. So the 2 6s, yep. Totally, you can do sense of motion. This enforcer that is part of Merlot's team definitely seems to be telling the truth. Seems to not know what's going on. And everything that he said seemed to be truthful.
And so as we're making it,
and I'll tell you, since you rolled the second success, I'll let you do that again without rolling, and you'll get an automatic success the next time you do that.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what was that, Ian?
as we're making our way down the wrecked cruise ship halls and past the rotting steel and whatnot, I suppose I'll turn towards Hadron and kind of quietly go, Peyton, he's a convincing man, but you are a smart man, Hadron. What do you think of this situation?
I think Peyton can talk his way through anything. So we're probably in safe hands, but I don't know. I don't like this. We're going to get into trouble here.
And in the things that you know and the things that you've discovered, you have never heard anything of a ball of flame in the sky, crazy light, or anything along those lines?
Oh, I think we should ask our friend Tadpole about that.
I suppose. Tadpole, what do you think of the light in the sky?
It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my entire life. First, fire falls from heaven, and a dog joins the fray. What more could we need from a knight?
Yes, it sounds like a dream come true for you, I say as I wipe my scar a bit more.
So as you guys approach or get closer to where the holding cells are, you notice that there are two big enforcers that they're about 7 feet tall. They are muscular. They are the biggest brutes of the Ark. They're standing guard in front of the room of the holding cells, and you hear you can definitely tell that someone Callisto is not having a good time in there.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden you hear a growl.
Hey,
and you kind of hear shouting as well.
Does it sound like it's all coming from the same person? The growling and the
the growling is definitely coming from you. You can probably assume that it's Callisto in there.
Okay.
Does the other voice sound like Merlot?
Yeah, we'll say it sounds like Merlot.
Okay. Hey, boys, just passing through.
And they like hold out their hands and they're like,
I gotta pay the toll. I know, boys, I know.
Go to your quarters, Peyton. Everybody's confined to quarters right now.
Well, no. Hold on just a moment. All right, I know what you boys want. How many bullets you need?
Peyton, I'm getting low on bullets personally,
They look at each other.
I'm going to take care of you. You don't worry.
And they just shake their head. Go back to your quarters now. Everything will be addressed in the morning.
Well, we're sent down here to take care of
the water system. We got to look at the water system. It's not working right.
Then go talk to Pontiac. He knows all about the water
He
system.
sent us here. I am supposed to check it out.
Yeah, the water.
My job.
The water system's up above on the top floor.
It runs through the jail. Hadron was telling me there's only 2 people who could take care of this, Pontiac and Hadron.
You can deal with it in the morning when everybody else is able to get out of their quarters.
Well, if you wanted to spring a leak down here and flood the whole place, drown everyone that's here, and then we won't have any water, then sure, we can wait until tomorrow. No problem.
While they're arguing, can I slip by?
Do you have like a stealth or sneak?
I do.
You have sneak? Yeah, go for it.
I do. Let's see. All right, so I have a 3, so that means 3 dice.
Yep. And what's it tied to? It must be tied to agility. Yep.
Agility, so add the 5.
Yep.
So that's an 8 die total.
Very nice.
All right, and
And I'm gonna say you need 2 successes to make this happen.
yeah, pretty big guys, right?
Yeah. And it's pretty close.
2 successes exactly.
How does the assist due to Hadron and I obviously in conversation?
In a scene, you can assist another player and they would get a +1 die a bonus as long as you can make it work somehow as far as how you're going to assist them.
Yeah, I think between Tadpole, Hadron, and I distracting these gents and knowing that Peyton's intention is to get in there and do some talking.
So they both kind of get up close to you and they're like, "Go back to your quarters. That is an order from Marlotte. Now, there's nothing to see here. We'll deal with it in the morning." And as they're like bending over because they're a lot taller than you, we'll say that Peyton kind of slips around them a little bit.
Nice.
Peyton, as you go into the room, you see that Marlotte's there with Yason in the background, kind of watching, and Marlotte is poking the Callisto and trying to, pretty much trying to torture it, trying to get some information from Callisto.
Okay. So I'm going to kind of move in and, get as close as I can to Merlot and be like, "Hey, baby, what's going on? What's shaking?"
Marlotte turns around and says, "Peyton, what are you doing in here? You're not allowed in here. You're not supposed to be in here. Get out of here."
I'm here to help with the investigation. She told us half of the whole reason why she's here.
Oh, yeah? What'd she tell you? It's probably lies.
Oh, well, what did she tell you?
She hasn't told me anything.
Well, yeah, you're poking her with a stick. Nobody's going to talk when you're poking her with a stick.
It's actually a spear.
Same difference. Both got pointy ends. One's just going to take a longer to poke through, right? All right. So look, listen, honey, I love your spear as much as the next guy, but you got to learn to talk to people. You can't just go poking them. They're not going to answer you. Why don't you let me do a little bit more talking?
No.
Let me talk to her. You're right here in the room. You're right here in the room. You tell me what you want me to ask. Instead of poking. Come on, you got to put the spear away.
Peyton, there's a reason why you're no longer part of our squad anymore. You're no longer needed. We have much more effective personnel than you.
Effective? If they were effective, why would I be standing here? Seriously. Right? I got through your 2 biggest guys. Your 2 biggest guys. Look, I got right past them.
We'll address that later.
All right. Well, let me help you out. Here's what I'm going to do. What kind of questions are you asking?
Well,
what are you asking?
We want to know where it's from. We want to know why it's here. We want to know how many there are like it that are out there and how long it's going to be until they invade our ark.
Well,
get over.
what do you know? Same exact questions that we asked, and we got the answers. I mean, we had it. Yeah,
You
we had.
believe it. It
Well,
just
yeah.
it just gave you all this information for.
Well, no, it was shot and then lit on fire.
Whatever it wants to hear, Peyton.
Really? You think she's into me?
Which you don't think she's just going to tell you what you want to hear so she can survive?
What, you're going to go kill her whole race of 20 people?
How do you know that there's only 20 people? She could have been lying to you. There could be hundreds of them out there.
I tell you what, I will go out personally with my crew and we will go investigate this. I just need to get a few more answers from her. That's all.
And at this point, one of the chroniclers, who there's about 20 of these in the arc. They are there to pretty much jot down everything that goes on in the arc.
Mm-hmm.
This chronicler is probably the most veteran. Her name is Astrina. Astrina walks in and says, the elder who you know is like in charge of the whole arc. He's the only one that is not a mutant. He's very old. He's very old. You usually see him come out of his dwelling. It's on top of the ship, and usually he addresses the crowd, the arc from outside his door. He has, like I said, he has about 20 chroniclers that are his that usually are like his folks that stay with him.
The elder does he have a distinct lack of mutations?
Yeah, he's human.
Gotcha.
He is the only human that you've ever seen. But he is very, very old. He is an old human. He probably looks like he's probably in his late 90s. Astrina comes in and says, the elder says you are to leave this alone, this thing alone, and we will deal with it in the morning.
What is up with the morning, guys? All right. You know, my head hurts from all this. Boys, let's go.
She looks over at Marlot and she says, leave it be. We will address it in the morning. What you're doing is not helping.
I kind of give a sigh of relief without anyone noticing. I'm like, so.
All right.
You make your way into that hall.
Yeah, and Marlot is going to insist that the guards stay where they are because they don't want anything to happen to the wolf person, who she doesn't know what her name is at this point because she didn't give it. She doesn't talk to it. It doesn't talk to Marlot because Marlot hasn't been nice to it, of course.
Right.
So we're going to say that at this point, you guys go back to your quarters. Did any of you take any wounds or anything from?
Oh, well, I took 1 point of damage. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll say that you mended your wound. You patched up your cheek real well.
All right.
You guys got a couple hours of sleep, and in your quarters, and you wake up to hearing some loud cheering and chants, and pretty much on the top deck you can hear everybody's assembled up there, and they're all like shouting, they're all applauding, and they're all there's just a whole bunch of noise going on upstairs.
All right, we'll definitely jump up out of bed and group up, and as we're making our way up the stairs, I'll ask Peyton. I'll go, Peyton,
yeah.
Last night in that room with Marlot, do you really think this is going to end well?
You know, I had my doubts there for a second. But today is a new day. I feel stronger and more cocky than ever. Let's do this.
Excellent.
So as you go to the top deck, Just the whole ARC community is up there, and they're all yelling and screaming, and they're pointing fingers, and a few of them are saying, "Kill it! Kill it!" And Marlot is up in front of the crowd, and you can see Callisto is in like this cage in front of them all, and Marlot is up there shouting, "Look at this abomination! We need to kill this. This is what is out there in the zone. We need to go and kill the rest of their kind. And what we need to do is slice this thing's throat and throw it over the side of the ark as a warning so that all of her community and whoever's out there that is like her does not bother us." And everybody just, the majority of people are cheering like, "Yeah, yeah."
I'm surprised Tadpole hasn't freaked out.
I was waiting for him to finish speaking. I have a bullet and I'm about to use it. I'm going to shoot my gun up in the air.
Okay.
Well, this is worth a bullet to just get everybody's attention.
Okay. So give me some sort of let me think here. Okay, this might not work out the way you want it, but what we're gonna do is you fire your gun up in the air, and everybody kind of stops for a second, looks over at you, and they all go, "Yeah!" Like,
they think you're for it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think he would start yelling at that point. Everybody knows that he's good with dogs. I think I have I have my main dog, but I'm assuming I have a couple other dogs.
If we don't get to the front of this crowd and head this off at the pass, guys, she's gonna die.
Tadpole's pushing up.
All right.
So as Marlot speaking and inciting the crowd, another boss comes into view from another side, the other side of the deck, and this boss as Maximum. Maximum is basically, he's got probably the largest crew in the community. He's got about 50 folks. Maximum also comes into view, and his loyal enforcer Mumba. Mumba has 4 arms, and she's a man beast.
Okay.
And she's like 7 feet tall, and she would take a bullet for Maximum. She's basically his security guard. And Maximum wears an old captain's uniform, and he makes everybody address him as captain. He is pretty much the second in command after the elder. And you all kind of, so Maximum is going to address the crowd, and he's going to go, whoa, we need order and stability here. We don't know this creature's intentions. We need to figure out what's best for our community and how to keep it safe.
Yeah.
Surprisingly wise words.
And everybody looks over at Peyton like, huh?
Yeah, that's what I've been saying. Woo!
And some of Maximum's crew says, yes, this is what we should do. We should totally. Maximum is wise. He's kept us together as much as he has, and he's definitely led us to an age of, look at what we've got. We didn't get here by chance. It's because of Maximum.
We don't have too much.
But what we have,
just shoveling his way
we
up.
would have. I'm sorry. What was that?
I said Tadpole's just still shoveling his way up front as close as he can.
Sure. So as Maximum is talking, another boss comes up. So you're kind of seeing where this is all heading. The boss is your friend Tadpole. It is Osarkatan. Osarkatan says, "Followers of the Sentinels of the Apocalypse, this is an abomination. We cannot let this thing into our community as we oversee the apocalypse. Let us kill it and get rid of it, and we will perform our duties as expected from God himself."
Have I made it up front yet?
Yeah, sure.
Ooh.
All right. So at that point, I get into Osarkatan's face
Yep.
and give him some sort of line along the lines of,
If you don't stop blathering useless words, I will have my dog rip your throat out.
And as you say that, a couple of his disciples or followers come up beside you, and it's like, "Heretic! You don't know. You need to know the ways of the Sentinels of the Apocalypse. You should not follow your own words. Osarkatan knows what he is speaking."
what does Osarkatan do?
Osarkatan just kind of looks like kind of smug, like, "Yeah, I do. I know what I'm talking about."
So I'll turn towards Tadpole as we've struggled our way on up, and real quick, I'll kind of butt my way in between him and a cult member, and I'll go, "Tadpole, I don't get all these cults, and I don't know about your sacred flame or anything like that, but I don't want them to kill this dog person, despite what she did to me." And I toss off my hood there, and I'm going to use a mutant point
Okay.
to fly 100 feet up to a high vantage point, where I begin to aim down my rifle, my scrap rifle, and
Okay.
I go, "There will be no killing today."
Okay, so you're up above, aiming your scrap rifle down at. Are you aiming at
The stage, I mean, not in general, just showing that I have it and whatnot, and making the presence known that if they attempt to hurt this dog woman, then there will be more than one killing.
Okay. Do you guys have any? Does anybody have like a really good? Like, is there like an insight? I forget what you guys have for.
There is
Sense emotion.
sense emotion, manipulate, heal, are all empathy skills.
Okay.
Wits,
But there's
you've
nothing
got
like a
comprehend.
comprehend. Does somebody want to Does somebody have a really good comprehend score?
I'd have 6 total dice.
Pretty good.
Okay, yeah. Why don't you roll me a comprehend just for a second?
Okay. Okay. So I would need to push that in order to succeed.
Okay.
No 6s.
Do it.
Try it.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Did you have any ones?
Oh my gosh.
Does now.
Oh no. That's okay. This will be fun.
So 1 6 and 3 1s.
Okay. Yeah, you just kind of sense all of the hatred and the confusion, and you don't really know anything else. That you haven't really sensed anything else that might be out of place in this situation. At this point,
Points.
what's that?
I said, but you get 3 mutant points.
But yeah, you do get 3 mutant points.
Yay.
So at this point, Maximum takes control of the speaking again, and says, "Let us keep this creature captive, and let's see if we can't get some more information from it instead of killing it, but we cannot let it go.
So
We're going to have to, for the good of the community, we are going to have to dispose of this creature. Otherwise, they will know what our situation is. Yeah, go ahead.
So this is the guy with the faction of the Sacred Flame. Is that right?
No, this is Maximum. He's the guy
Maximum.
with the biggest.
Okay.
He's pretty much known for being the most level-headed, and he's got he's always had the arc in the community in mind throughout, since you've remembered.
So the guys with the Sacred Flame, they were pretty much, let's kill it, right?
Yeah,
the Sacred Flame is my group.
Yeah,
right.
Sacred Flame. This is the Sentinels of the Apocalypse.
Right.
His 20 followers. They're pretty much, they're kind of laughed off. They're kind of known as loonies, but yeah, he definitely doesn't want this creature in this area, in your community, because it is from the outside. Everything that is outside that is part of the old age, he thinks, or whatever, is definitely an abomination. Is not. It's sinful.
Tadpole wants to try to get close to Maximum to talk to him about letting him keep watch over the dog.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah. What we'll do is at this point, I think what we'll do is we'll set it up so that everybody, it's agreed upon that we're going to just let the wolf person live for right now, and we're going to have plans to kill it, but we want to learn as much information from it as possible. So everybody go back to business as normal, and we're going to put the creature into the holding cell that it was in last night. And yes, as Maximum makes this declaration, you come up to him and you speak to him.
All right. Captain Maximum.
Yes. Yes, Tadpole.
As an expert dog handler, I would like to oversee the care of this creature.
Is that wise? Let me think. Do you think you could get some information from it before? I'm sorry, but we are going to have to kill it.
All in time. But until then, I'm sure I could care for it and make sure that it is productive to the needs of the Ark.
Well, why don't you can take the second shift tonight and watch over it tonight. Maybe having some other dogs there with it will help it sleep. And maybe once it's well rested and maybe mended a little bit more, maybe it will be forthcoming with more information. So yes, I will let you be on one of the shifts to oversee this creature.
I will approach and ask Maximum if I may question the dog creature person, because she has already spoken to us beforehand. She's given us a little bit of information, but I would like to elaborate on that. And what I saw Merlot doing last night with poking it with a spear, you're not going to get any information out of that. Where I will, draw out any questions that you might have. I will take note of and get you the information you need.
All right, that sounds good. Marlot's ways are not. They're excessive. They do not have the good of the community in mind.
Agreed. So what kind of questions would you like me to ask?
Well, we would like to know where it's from. We would like to know how many are there. We would like to know what their intentions are. And we need to know the situation of their community. Maybe they're doing much better than we are.
Well, I can tell you right offhand that
And if they're doing much better than we are, then we're in trouble.
she says they're not. She says they're worse. But I will let me look into that further, but that's the first answer that I have. Okay, so where, how many of them, their intentions, anything
Their
else? Paul?
shape.
What's that? Yeah, I think that's I think that's good.
And so,
Yeah, go ahead.
before the scene closes out, is Yasan amongst the dispersing crowd?
Yasan is part of the dispersing crowd, and he just kind of hisses, and he's just like, this is not a creature that needs to be alive.
And I'll make my way next to him. I'm sure he's slower than the rest of the younger mutants and whatnot, hobbling along, and with his rot affliction. So I kind of give him a hand, as I'd be one of the only people brave enough to do so.
And Yasan kind of whips around like, why did you touch me?
Yasan, you know I am not afraid of the rot. This aging and mutation that is ceaseless.
Yeah. I tell you, with all the terrors that I saw out there, nothing was more worse than the rot.
Well, we all have to get over our fears at some point, I suppose. And as I'm hefting my jacket back over my insect wings and tuck them away, and I go, listen, Yasan, you are wise, and you have told me of many fearful things out there in the zone, but these wolf peoples, do you think, are they really a threat?
Yes. Anything that's out in the zone is a threat.
But they don't
ever think that it's not.
They don't seem so different from us. It
is. It's just fooling you. I have been attacked by many creatures out there. Many things have almost ended my life out there. That being probably, I've never seen a creature like that before, but that is definitely not something that we need around our arc in order to survive.
And all
this is why Marlot is fit to rule this community. She knows what it takes.
You have faith in Marlot's way.
Marlot knows that we have to be forceful with these creatures.
Well, Zakirin, out of respect, continues along with him, but much more quietly and reserved, with a lot more to ponder on.
Nice. What is Hadron doing at this point?
So he's, kind of checking things out around and kind of hatching maybe a little bit of a plot in his head, but he's not really sure he wants to reveal it to the rest of the group yet. Mm-hmm. But he does keep an eye out for Pontiac and sees if he sees him anywhere nearby.
Pontiac was part of the crowd, but he tends to stay out of sight most of the time in the engine room, and that's usually where he's in there, just kind of tinkering with different things. One thing you do notice is that there is another gentleman another mutant, I should say, that is really skinny. He's got like this really torn and worn and dirty suit, and he's kind of leaning up against the wall, and he's kind of got one knee up, or one foot on the wall, and he's just kind of leaning up against it. And you know this mutant as Sixter. Sixter is like Maximum's second in command, and he's very charming, and he kind of takes he's a puppeteer, and he kind of takes his goggles and puts them down over his eyes, and kind of looks around and smirks and follows Maximum down to the while he's escorting the wolf creature back down to its holding cell.
Is he somebody that Hadron's interacted with or anything like that?
You've probably know of him. You probably have interacted with him in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Since he's like the second in command.
Yeah.
He's loyal. He's loyal and charming, but you can kind of sense something's not quite right with him.
Maybe I'll kind of walk up behind him and say, "Hey, Sixter, how you liking those goggles? Are they working good for you?"
And he'll turn around and he'll be like, "Oh, hey there, Hedron. Yeah, no, I like these a lot. Do you know these were given to me? Do you know who made these?"
Yeah, I made those.
You made these?
Yeah.
Man, they're really good.
Yeah,
they're gonna keep the dust and sun out of my eyes. That's pretty awesome. You're pretty good, man. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. If I had other cool stuff, I could make more things. Yeah.
Well, there's some stuff that we might be able to maybe the next stalker crew that goes out in the zone, maybe when they come back, I'll kind of snag some stuff from them and see if it's of interest to you before we put it away in the oh shoot, what's it called?
Vault.
The vault, the Dawn Vault. That's what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
That's and that the vault, the Dawn Vault, is kept in the Elders room. It's off the Elders room. It's pretty much where all the artifacts from the zone end up, because that's what you guys. They're unusual objects and they're from the old age and they end up there. But yeah, Sixer says, yeah, I'll see if maybe we can't hook you up with some items from the next outgoing.
Yeah. Cool. I'd like that.
Nice.
Are you gonna keep an eye on Calypso?
Callisto? Who's Callisto?
The dog person.
It has a name? How do you know that it's got a name? Did it tell you?
Tadpole told me.
Where's this tadpole person?
He's around.
Can you bring them to me for a second? I'd like to talk to them for a little bit.
Maybe.
All right. Yeah. Thanks. Maybe once we put this Callisto into a cell, I'll go up to my quarters and have Tadpole come up and talk to me. I'm kind of curious as to what this creature told him.
Yeah. Sure.
All right. Thanks. And I'll definitely get you some scrap the next time party comes back. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Thanks.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Maybe you can kind of make some more goggles like this.
I'm sure I can make lots of stuff.
So all that goes on, and the one thing that that's kind of odd about the whole situation is the fact that the Elder didn't make an appearance at this whole thing. That and now that you're kind of reflecting on it, you've realized that y'all haven't seen the Elder in quite some time. So that kind of settles in after all the commotion and everything. You're like, hey, wait a minute. If this was such a big deal, why didn't the Elder speak when all the bosses were talking?
What was the Tadpole up to during all those individual happenstances?
I think he was just kind of conferring with his with his small following, whoever, however many few they may be, telling them about the glory of the light in the sky.
Okay.
He's going to interact with his group. He's not going to seek people out.
Makes sense.
So they bring Callisto back to the holding cell, and you guys just go about your day. What are you guys doing? You guys are all kind of the same shift. You guys, again, you're going to be doing security again tonight, as far as you know, because you're on the night shift. But some of you, I guess, are doing the security for the wolf person for Callisto. But what are you guys doing before that?
So as a stalker, I have a den.
Okay.
And so I would like to establish a few additional things, if that's all cool, about the setting, essentially. All right, so this ship, the Disney Wonder, which is the Ark, serves as our Ark, is more beached than most of the other large structures on the coastline around here. There are, however... Oh,
go ahead.
Okay, so there's probably like an oil rig or something far out the way. And a few really large rusting fishing vessels and whatnot, and a few of them that you can see during like low tide and whatnot, but nothing as accessible as the Disney Wonder. However, down the way, about like 50 meters down the coastline, there are some washed up cargo containers.
Okay.
And so Zakirin likes to check in on that and has made one, even though it's damp and the lock is rusted and takes a hell of a lot of effort and struggle to get through. He has claimed one essentially as his den outside the Ark.
Okay, nice.
So he's gonna go check and make sure there's no, mutant rats or anything. One
thing I forgot to mention is Osarkatan, the cult leader of the Sentinels of the Apocalypse. He and his followers hang out on a floating lifeboat that is tied to the ship. So he's kind of in the back. His crew kind of hangs out in that floating lifeboat all by themselves.
Flip off the lifeboat as I walk past down the coastline.
Nice. Are you guys all going with Zek? How do you spell it? Zakirin. Sorry.
Yeah. I invite anyone to come along if they want to see what's in the zone as far as 50 meters down the coast goes, but they certainly don't have to.
I'm always interested, but I've got my job to do tonight, so I'm just gonna say good luck, buddy. I'll see you soon.
Hey, I don't want to go in the zone. No, thank you. No. But I do want to talk to Tadpole. Tadpole?
Yeah?
Tadpole? Hi.
Oh, Hadron, my favorite pyro.
Yes. So, Sixter? That guy?
Yeah, I don't trust him.
Well, yeah. He seems nice. Like, maybe too nice? I don't know.
You know what he does, right? Blows your mind.
Oh. Is that what he does?
Yes.
Oh. Well, he might have done that. But, anyway, he wanted you to talk to him. He was asking me a bunch of questions, and I told him Callisto's name, and he wanted to know how I knew that, and so I told him that you knew. Yeah, maybe that was bad. I'm sorry.
That may have been bad. Okay. Sure. Well, I guess we'll meet him. But you're coming along too, since you brought me into this.
Oh, do I have to?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Good.
All right. So you guys go back up to the top of the deck, and Sixter has Maximum his I don't know what you want to call it. Den, I guess is probably where you want to call it, but it's the Ark's old bridge, and and off the bridge is like this little like storage closet, and that's pretty much where Sixter kind of hangs out, and that's kind of his little. It's like this little closet. Like, if you've ever seen The Office, have you guys all watched The Office? Mm-hmm. You know how they put Ryan in the closet there, and that's kind of where Sixter is. He's kind of in this like storage closet. It's not very big, just enough room for one person. But
what kind of loony question was that, Doug?
Well, I'm just saying.
Have you guys seen The Office?
Just saying. I'm just trying to give you some
it's okay.
I mean, I love The Office, so that's kind of
everyone loves The Office. That's okay. The point, Doug.
No, you'd be surprised at how many people don't watch The Office. Oh
geez.
Sixter is kind of in. He's kind of got this makeshift office in this closet.
All right. Is this in like Captain Maximus's, like, is it off of his main area, or
yeah.
So we have to go through all of his goons to get there.
You can say that they're all kind of, there's a few in there, but they're not really paying very much attention. They're just kind of hanging out, and they most of them are kind of downstairs tending to the hostage that is in the holding cell. Because this is a big deal, because you guys have never seen, like, as like mutants, you've never seen a creature like this. So like, this is kind of a big deal, and most people aren't going to have access to this, getting to see it up close. And so all of his crew is going to be down there with him, and probably some of Marlotte's crew is going to be down there with her. But we're going to say most of them are not hanging out in there. There might be one or two that are just kind of just lounging around because they got nothing better to do.
Okay. I had two questions for you.
Sure.
Everyone knows, like, everybody's mutations, right? Like, I'm assuming we've all grown up together. We kind of know what everybody does.
Yeah, I think everybody kind of knows what everybody is at this point.
Okay, unless you sprout rot and get something new.
Right.
And two, Marlotte's an insectoid. What kind of insect is she?
She's got like a hard. She's not like. She's kind of like a half insectoid face, but it's just kind of like
one bulbous eye and kind of
like one bulbous eye, and she's kind of like ant skin almost coming through on the side of her face, and like on down one arm.
So she's got an exoskeleton.
Yeah. You kind of see an exoskeleton coming through on part of her body.
Nice. I was just curious because you said she was an insectoid. I saw her as a scorpion in my mind, so I was just
I love it. I should have had her as scorpion. That's much better.
Ant has a militaristic kind of theme to it, though.
Yeah. But I'll go in there and see what the heck Sixter wants from me.
All right. So one of the Maximum's followers says, "Hey, Sixter, you got a visitor." And you see Sixter kind of like poke his head out, and then he kind of does this thing where he like grabs a hold of the frame of the door, and he swings around. He's like, "Hey guys, what's going on?" So, hey Tadpole, hey, Hadron, thanks for bringing Tadpole up like you said. I appreciate that.
Yeah. I mean, I said I would do it.
Yeah, no, that's great. I appreciate that.
I did.
You're the best, man. You got scrap. I'm gonna get you some scrap. I promise.
I like scrap.
Yeah. Make some more of these cool goggles. They're awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, Tadpole. So I heard that this wolf creature kind of talked to you. What did it say? What did you want to kind of tell me what it told you?
Everything is for sale, as they say.
But if you told me, I would tell him. I would tell Maximum, and you know that you'd be in good favor with Maximum. Being in good favor with Maximum is going to get you far in this community, you know. And do you really want to play it like this? I mean, come on. You want to do what's good for the arc, right?
Oh, I would never say that we would be playing a game. I just want to know that we are on agreeable circumstances.
Oh man, you know me. I'm always agreeable.
I know. So let's say this. I share what I know. You tell Maximum that you got this information from me directly. And that my continued involvement with the animal is important.
Yeah, I can make that happen. No problem.
All right, can I check his emotions?
Sure.
Okay, because I trust this guy about as far as I can.
Oh yeah, and you get an automatic success because you got it the first time, right?
I rolled two successes, two failed.
So we'll let you get an automatic success. So you know that Sixter is pretty much telling the truth, but you can tell there's something that he's kind of fishing for information for himself at this point.
I figured. So I'll tell him that we know the name. I'll tell him that the creature said that it was coming from far away, but I will not tell him that the condition that they were in, and I won't tell him that it was looking to steal. I'll leave those parts out.
Ah, so it didn't tell you anything else? That's all it told you, huh? I'm sure it probably didn't have a whole lot of time before Marlotte and her gang came down and kind of intervened like they did. Man, if she had just kept her nose out of it, we probably would have had so much more information from her, from this Callisto. You said it's Callisto, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Callisto.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Marlotte's not very nice. I don't like her.
Yeah, I mean, she'll get what's coming to her eventually, I'm guessing. Well, you know, people like that, you know, they're just not good. They're gonna mess up everyone's. You know, you can't rule with fear like that, can you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, it was good talking with you guys. I'm gonna get back to my work over here, and he kind of goes back into the closet, and he kind of backs into it. And he keeps eyeballing you, and then he kind of shuts the door on himself. And yeah, that's all. That's all he does. We'll catch you guys around.
Yeah.
That guy's shifty.
All right. So yeah.
What do you think he does in there, Tadpole?
This is a child show, and we don't talk about that.
Maximum meta. That is your mutation.
He's nailing it. I'm just gonna say it right now. He's nailing it tonight.
Meta as possible. That is fantastic.
So we can say that the most of the day has gone by. It's almost time for your shift. Are you guys?
Do I find anything interesting out in the zone during my quick scout about?
You've pretty much gone back and forth through this.
Good.
Yeah, there's not really all that much to see between. You're like, here, I'm going to show folks where the zone. We're going to bring it up on the map here if I can find it. Oh, whoops. You know what? We're going to bring up the map of the zone in.
Thought we might as well get a look at it before this episode ends.
Yeah, let's take a look here. Let's see. We're going to share the map of the zone. Okay, so you guys are where that little black mark is. That is the
Disney Wonder.
Wonder. I can't believe we named it that, but we did. Okay, and you're just like you go to like the zone next to it, and that's pretty much you're pretty familiar with that zone. It's not really all that much. We're going to. If I don't know if can I move this. Oh yeah, I can move this over here. We're going to put the container. Can I write with this right here? Yeah. Oh, no. Let's see here. We are going to highlight. Oh, yeah, right there. I put a little dot right there where...
Sure, yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, where your container is.
Okay.
So you go there, you come back, you're all meeting. It's about time for your shift to start. As you're meeting, Estrina, who is the chronicler, comes down and... she kind of looks over her shoulder, kind of looks around a little bit while you guys are all together, and she says, I need to speak to all of you. Let's go somewhere where we can be alone.
Hey.
Yeah, how about the elders' quarters? Seems very lonely up there to talk.
No, the elder cannot be disturbed, but he needs a favor from you all.
Peyton, didn't you say that chronicler Estrina here? She was the one who told us that we shouldn't meddle in these things, eh?
Was it Estrina?
Yeah. She pulled you away from. She basically put a stop to the torturing of the animal.
Gotcha. Yes, she came down. Yeah, you know. What? Let's hear her out. Let's go in this closet over here. This.
So she brings you into like this old. We'll say it's like an old, what is a cab? What do you call those? I've never been on a cruise ship, so what do you call those quarters? Where I guess quarters, like one of the old rooms that you would rent out or whatever. And she pulls you in here, and she's like, "The elder has asked that you help this creature escape, and take it back, have it lead you back to where it's come from. We need to combine our resources and communities together in order to survive. There is a much bigger threat to all of us than their community. You need to get her out of here and have her show you where she is at, where she comes from. Otherwise, we're all doomed."
Great minds think alike, because that was kind of the plan anyway.
You don't think that Marlot or Maximum or even the cultists out on the lifeboat, like, you don't imagine any of them could be in on this?
No. You need...
Wait, I do have a question.
Sure.
Why didn't the elder speak today?
The elder is very busy.
Busy?
And he and you can tell that she's kind of pausing and not being forthcoming with information.
Mm-hmm.
He could not. I do not want to get into it, but know that I speak for the elder, and we have to prepare ourselves for a much bigger threat to come.
It's better to have more allies than enemies, so I
Absolutely.
Definitely agree with you. Guys, what are your gut feelings on this situation? I mean,
you need to sneak her out of the ark so that nobody sees you.
Yes, sweetheart. We got this. Hold on. Let me confer with my crew here. How are you guys feeling? How confident are you that we can stick to the shadows and get her out of here? How many are... I should ask this. Is anyone stealthy besides me?
Absolutely. I'm
Right.
very stealthy.
Okay. Okay.
Hadron will kind of turn around and look up from where he was straightening out all the tattered bedding on the bed in this cabin and trying to make the bed. Look up and say, well, I don't feel really competent to do this kind of thing, but I think we should. I feel kind of bad about lighting Callisto on fire.
If Hadron's in, I know Toadstool. I mean,
Tadpole.
Tadpole. Yeah, sorry, not Toadstool. No, brother. Yeah, you got to be in, bro. You want to see her free just as bad as I do.
Of course. And with me being the second watch tonight, it'll be even easier.
Okay. All right. So I know I've got to go down and question her, but I'm going to try to slip into the shadows while I'm in there. And once you come on shift, we can work together to get her out.
Maybe I could lend assistance on your hand, moving in the shadows with you.
Yes.
And, well, if need be, I suppose I could fly somewhere and make a distraction. But before we begin on this, all of you listen. This ark here, it is in danger, not of some greater vague thing, but there is a power struggle. There's a lack of food and water and ammunition, no doubt. But if these orders are truly from the Elder, and I look towards Estrina, the chronicler, with quite an intense gaze, I go, you must prove it. It must be true. That's the only way I will commit to this.
It is true.
Show me your book. Let me see your writings on the conversation.
And she pulls out her book, and inside it, she has written down
his orders and
his orders. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and I imagine peering into a chronicler's book it's a seldom done thing.
Oh, it's not usually accepted.
So yeah, I'm holding her to this essentially, and I look at the passage and read it slowly and give a nod back at the group, and I go, then when she is out, I will show us through the zone.
Very good.
Good.
The Elder thanks you for your service, and our hopes of our future lie with you. And she excuses herself out of the room and goes back to where she usually hangs out in the Elder's quarters.
All right, guys. I'm going to go to pick up the ration and the water for her, and I'll bring it down to the cells while you guys get into position.
If we could make a quick trade, I have a surplus of water and a lack of bullets. I have 9 water and 3 bullets. I'd be willing to give 2 for 2 if that could be worked out. If you can fix that in some way, then
I've got your back. Let me give you 4 bullets.
Okay, that will definitely do the trick. We are set to go.
You hold on to the water. If I need it while we're out there, I know you've got my back.
Oh, we will need it.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna go grab a ration and a water. Pick it up for the prisoner, and head down towards the cell.
All right. There are two guards standing there. They're not like enforcers, but they're just normal.
Different from the ones that were there before.
Yeah. And they look at you and they're like, "Why are you giving rations and water to our prisoner?"
Orders from Maximus. We have to take care of our guest until she answers all of our questions. Therefore, she must eat so that she can stay healthy for the time being. I am offering up, I'll tell them, I'm offering up my rations. These were personally mine, but
They both look at each other and they just kind of roll their eyes, like, why would anybody give up rations to someone that's going to be executed eventually anyway? But yeah, they let you through.
Good enough for me. All right. So down here, is there anyone else down here, or is it just the two guards?
Just the two guards at the moment.
Okay.
Is this? Are we doing the escape now? Or are we?
It's nighttime, so it's totally up to you.
Nighttime. I mean, we gotta kind of do this. We gotta play this.
Yeah. Then Zakirin will attempt to sneak into the scene. Essentially. Do you want me to roll on that?
Who's taking guard the next guard shift? It's Tadpole and Peyton. Are they taking the guard shift after these two guys, their shift is over? Is that what we determined?
Supposed to have be guarding the dog.
Okay. Yep. So yeah. So Tadpole, are you going to just show up and relieve these two guards? Yep. Yeah. So Tadpole shows up. The two guards go, "It's about time you showed up. We're hungry, man. We see this guy feeding the dog and didn't even bother to give us any food because we've been standing here all day watching this mutt." And they stomp off and they leave Peyton and Tadpole to watch over the dog.
Well, then no need for sneaking.
Pushes his door open slowly. Come on in.
Well, where is Hadron? We will need him if we're going to escape quickly. And well, it might be hard to keep up.
So
Hey.
while we're looking for Hadron,
Right here, buddy.
Oh, sorry, Hadron.
What was that? What was that, Peyton?
I was just going to say that I'll head over to the cell and go ahead and give her the water and the ration. Open the door, and
she kind of. Well, you don't have the key.
I don't have the key.
You know, it's a locked cell, so
It's
they wouldn't just give you the key to the.
Oh, come on, that'd be easier.
I'm just saying that
I'll
might
give
have
her,
to do something about that.
I'll give her the water and the rations and just,
All right.
Tell her to, and then whisper, we're going to get you out of here.
She kind of sniffs the rations a little bit and.
Okay. All right. So Hadron, you know anything about locks?
I think he knows how to melt some steel if need be.
I don't know. I mean, maybe a little, kind of. I know about stuff, things. How they work.
Okay. And well, why don't you take a look at this?
Is that a legit use of the jury rig skill?
Sure, I'll
Okay.
allow it.
Excellent. Yeah.
You're a gearhead, and I would say that the lock mechanism's probably gear, so
Nice.
do it.
Okie dokie. So excellent.
And it's probably something that they kind of like threw together anyway, because I'm assuming that the lock mechanism, either they lost the key or the lock mechanism's all rusted anyway. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I got 2 successes.
all right, yeah, you pick the lock and it opens freely, and Callisto gets to her feet, and her ears, turn back, and she's ready to she's ready to go, like
Sorry,
whenever you guys.
Sorry about your fur.
That's quite all right. I know you were just trying to protect your community.
I put my hand on Hadron's shoulder and I go, well, friend, it seems between that lock and your flames, you have more skills that could be useful in the zone than you think. We might actually have a chance here.
Also, Hadron, since you rolled 2 successes, you can pick a lock automatically on your next try.
Oh, rad. Okay, thank you.
Beautiful.
Yep. So Callisto is going to look at all of you and thank you so much for your help. I don't want to be killed.
Okay, just stick with me. I think we're gonna put Tadpole and Zacharian.
Zakirin.
I will get that by
Episode 4.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's Zeke Iran.
Right.
Iran.
I almost said that when we first started.
And Hedron, why don't we let Tadpole and Zakirin take the lead? Hedron, why don't you stay in the middle? I'll take the rear, and me and you can keep Callisto in between us.
Okay. Who has the worst sneak ability?
I total out to 5.
Yeah,
You total up to 5?
It's 4, so I'm probably worst.
Okay, so you're going to be 4. We're going to let the 3 folks each lend you a hand. So you're going to roll 7 dice. This is going to be your sneak attempt out of the arc as a group to know whether or not you actually make it out with any kind of interruption. So yeah, roll 7 dice and let me know.
All attribute dice, or does it matter?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay. 7 dice. Rolling. Oh, man.
Ooh.
Okay. Well, that was 4 ones.
Oh!
Okay. Was that your first roll?
That was my first.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you not to push it.
Okay.
Roll any successes at all.
No.
Okay. So you make it outside of the arc. You as you are climbing over the palisade to go into the zone, one of the dogs from Tadpole, one of Tadpole's dogs. How many dogs do you have, Tadpole?
I have Snoop stays with me always. But there's probably
just
like
Snoop? Okay.
there's probably like 6 or 7 at least, like full-grown dogs that are like roaming the outside of the arc at all times, I think.
Okay, so as you are exiting the arc and you climb over the palisades, it alerts the dogs, and the dogs start barking wildly, and it draws all sorts of attention to you guys. What's that?
Can I roll move for us?
Sure.
To try and get out there wicked fast.
Sure.
All right, so Zakirin, once the dog starts barking and everyone starts looking down at us, now we're in his home, the zone. He takes the lead and starts running, and he goes, this path, we have to get away from the arc now. That is going to be 2 successes, no failures.
All right. So you hot-tail it out into the zone, and you are out of sight of the dogs. You basically disappear before anybody really kind of notices that you guys are out there. They just, when they notice that the dogs are barking, they think that they're just barking at something that's got their attention, and they don't realize that it's you.
Nice.
And on that note, we're going to call it a session.
Awesome.
Yeah.
The next session, they will be in the zone and dealing with all the terrifying things that might happen. We'll find out next episode. This will be the second Wednesday of every month. We will be playing Mutant Year Zero, and they will be traversing the zone. And will they make it to Callisto's community? And what is that community? What does that community entail? Is it mostly wolf people, or are there other types of folks there as well?
There's a lot of great questions to ask on this one.
And is Callisto telling the truth?
Yes.
All right, that's going to do it for this episode. I want to thank Will, a.k.a. Hadron, for joining us. Peyton, a.k.a. Josh Melville, Halloweenville on YouTube. Zakirin, Ian Rollins from Freakopolis Geekery. And our premiere guest, making his debut, Zachary Wolf, a.k.a. Tadpole, the dog handler for this session. Make sure to stay tuned next month for episode 2. This has been Victory Condition Gaming, because winning shouldn't be the only victory condition when you get to the table. We'll see you next time. Bye now.